Hi, this is Dan Weedin. I'm a crisis management expert, and today we're going to talk about how to create a working model for disaster management. Now, this could be an entire day-long or two-day-long session, so I'm going to try to put it down into its barest bones over the course of the next couple minutes. There's 5 steps to preparing a disaster management model. Step number 1 is identification of hazards, exposures, and perils. Basically, you need to identify what are the things that could happen to your business that can suspend your operations, cause some sort of reputation damage, or hurt your source of revenue. Step number two is you have to analyze what kind of a risk do you really have. You've identified them. You need to do some analysis on, is this a frequency problem? Is this a severity problem? What kind of issue will your business have with this, and how bad could it possibly be? The third step is you have to control. And what I mean by control is you have to go out and you have to work from a training and education standpoint with your employees to work on prevention. If you can prevent that exposure or peril from ever hurting you, that's what you want to do. So to the best of your ability, you have to try to control that part of the disaster in the disaster planning. Step number 4 is what I call risk transfer. You call it insurance. You can't control everything. Hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes, they happen with prevention or not. And so you have to be able to transfer that risk, in other words, buy insurance to take care of what you can't control. And then finally, the 5th step in the disaster planning model is you have to monitor and administer everything that you've done. You can't just set it up once. You have to do practicing, you have to do situational training, you have to be strategizing constantly, and in other words, a rinse and repeat model. So you have to continue the work on an ongoing basis to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. So really quickly, number 1 is you have to set up an identification process of the perils, exposures, and hazards for your business. Step number 2 is you need to do analysis on those and define and triage what needs the most help. Step number 3, control what you can control through preventative actions. Step number 4 is risk transfer. You call it insurance. Buy the insurance for the things that you can't control or you can't afford to pay for. And then step number 5 is the rinse and repeat. Monitor and administer on an ongoing basis. This has been Dan Weedin. Today we talked about how to set up a disaster management model. We'll see you next time.